frustrated and irritated and had to pull myself in.
Just like something that has been pushed.
Part of life. And yes, definitely. When my blood pressure started.
Oh, a believer. Well, welcome back, guys, to Integrative Approaches and Healthier Living. My name is Christopher Bush. I am a health coach, and this is Tammy Tomlinson. How you doing today, Miss Tammy?
I am good. You know, life likes to throw a little curveballs your direction every once in a while, my direction. So
Yeah, no kidding.
just been trying to dodge those and, stay even keeled and keep a good head on my shoulders. So yeah, but I can't complain. I physically and mentally feel well, but yeah, it's
Good.
been a challenge, but
Yeah.
good.
It's been an interesting week, I think, for both of us, but
Yeah.
I'm having like a completely opposite issue like this week where it's like so busy that you're just, it's just like it feels like you just can't even take time to think in between your tasks. You just are like, okay, next thing, next thing, next thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still
Mm-hmm.
good, I agree.
But sometimes that's better, right? Because then you don't have time to uh contemplate and recapitulate and are you doing the right thing or what else should you be doing? You just do and you don't have to, think too hard, which is
Yeah,
sometimes I think better.
sometimes that can be helpful. Yeah, yeah, I agree. So I think we were planning today to actually, this is our second round to be like completely transparent with everyone else that's watching, because we've had like some weird recently. We have some weird issues with technology. Technology has not been working with us, so uh, we literally the last time we did this, we literally filmed the entire thing, and one of our cameras wasn't working, and so we were like, okay, well, today we're done.
It
We're
was a
gonna
good
try
test
another
run,
day.
right? It's a
So
good exercise for just continuing to get comfortable behind the camera.
yeah, absolutely. So, but your idea was, and I thought it was a really good idea when we passed in conversation, was just kind of talking about activity. You've had some really fun goals that you've set for yourself this year, and what I'm alluding to is your walking goals, and your 30 minutes a day of walking goals. But a friend of yours, right, reached out to you how many months ago now and was like, oh, hey, let's start walking.
One
Right.
one person in particular, we had been chatting about it, and finally it was like a phone call one day, and are we doing this or not? And I was like, mm, can you walk at my pace? Because I like do a crawl, and yeah, okay, we'll try and we'll see how long I last. And
Right.
so yes, took a leap and did it.
Yeah. Right now you're up to 4 days a week, is it? 4 days a
Hmm.
week at 30 minutes
Yes,
of
yeah,
walking. So,
yes.
which is cool. Like it's an incredible accomplishment considering Uh, I remember when you were worried about whether or not, you would get, one day and yeah, the friend thing's definitely beneficial, right? I think we've talked about that before on the
Hmm.
podcast, like the power of like having those friends that will go out with us and how big of an incentive that is.
Yes, and there's studies that show, right, that if you have somebody that's counting on you or waiting on you, or whether you're going to walk, you're going to the store, or anything in between, if you've got that person that's helping hold you accountable, because I that's what it is, right? Helping
Right.
to hold you accountable, then yeah, it makes you get up out of bed a little easier, maybe. I mean, I'm not a morning
Yeah.
person, so getting out of bed early is a challenge, but hey, you do it
Right.
once or twice a week and you feel better for it, and yeah,
Well, not to
all is
interrupt you
good.
too, but I mean, since you're speaking of studies, there's like a lot of the studies out there that support like people that tend to work out with people report
Hmm.
greater satisfaction and like overall like well-being than people that don't, like in life in general. It's not just in their
Right.
workouts.
Right.
Studies
The
also
the
support that,
quality of life, right?
yeah, quality of
Improvement in the
life.
quality
Yep.
of life and the mental and
Yep.
physical well-being. So
Yep.
yes, yeah.
People also, an interesting one too is like people that work out like with groups of people tend to, when weight loss is the goal, tend to lose more weight also. So, which is kind of cool thing. So there's a lot of incentive to, finding a workout partner and getting out there. I wanted to also touch on a point like that you made last time we spoke on our previous recording that didn't pan out, but that I thought was
Yikes.
really cool was walking and being since you mentioned consistent, is walking at the same time, um, because you can meet people on your walks, meet
Hmm.
people that
Hmm.
might want to join you. Um, you didn't really bring that up this time, but I thought that was a really cool mention, like as far as last time with the call, because that's exactly the way it's happened for me. Like I have like a fitness group that basically started out of that, where I would just show up, and I would go to like the workout, facility, like the outdoor workout facility by my house
Hmm.
every day at 10 a.m. And then now like there's like 5, 6 people that will show up and work out with us, any given day, just based on the fact that I would just go out there by myself, work out by myself at the same time, and then I would meet people, and then they would want to come work out with me, and it just built from there. And now it's like really, really hard to skip a day because it's like you have all these people that are looking to you kind of because you were the one that kind of started things, started the
Hmm.
ball rolling.
Hmm. Yeah, you've become
So
the leader of the pack.
yeah, so to speak, the leader of the
Well,
pack.
hey, it fits the moniker Coach Chris. So you should be
Yeah,
out there
yeah, it's
coaching
true, it's
people on
true.
how to,
Yeah, it's true.
and
I
then
mean,
you
I
can
guess
also, well, you can also
what?
help like instruct or guide when you see somebody doing something that you're like, you might want to be a little careful with that move there so you
True.
don't pull something or
Yeah,
hurt something. So yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It does have that benefit. Um, What else do we kind of want to discuss today? Because I mean, I know last time we really got into that. You touched last time too on, and we kind of briefly discussed it, like overcoming fear. I know we briefly touched on that a little bit, even with our previous podcast as well, and and overcoming challenges. And I think one thing I did want to kind of tie in with this is that, after the pandemic, you had been very active before you, um,
Mm-hmm.
one point you were working out with a trainer, you were going to the gym. And then post pandemic, you hadn't done those things. And a lot of the confidence that you had in and around activity because of the decrease in activity and say strength and some of the health challenges that you had with dealing with, just the food and just the medical things that we've kind of like come up against and encountered since then, you just didn't feel like you had the confidence anymore.
Mm,
But
right.
now you've been slowly able to rebuild that, now that you're walking, for, I think our goal is to start getting to the point where it's going to be every day, where you're going to be walking for
True,
30 minutes
true. Yeah. Well, and I
before.
think yeah, yes, to kind of dial in, I think it was there used to be a TV show called Fear Factor, right? But
Right,
it had to do with all of these somewhat sometimes crazy things that you people
right,
may or may not want to do. But
right,
yeah, I think for me there was a fear factor in there. I felt like
right,
that I wasn't because I was getting older, because there was uh the whole pandemic thing, and I don't like to use that as an excuse, but it's a reality. And
right,
when you're in a situation or in a body that is very susceptible to picking up anything, it doesn't even have to be whatever the going thing is that's around in the atmosphere at that particular time. It's
right,
it's scary It was
Hmm.
scary to like get out and be amongst other people because
Yeah, yeah,
I was wearing a mask and just like
yeah,
and then I couldn't breathe with the mask. So
right.
it was just it was a daunting time to work through that fear, that fear
Yeah,
factor.
absolutely.
And yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so
Well, I mean, and you use this opportunity of like starting with a friend, to, have that partner, not just an accountability partner, but somebody that, is by your side. So, if say an emergency happens or if you run into something like that can easily like get help so there's
mhm,
that benefit.
right, right.
But now it's been impressive since you that person's had to, take care of other things and move on from the picture, that we were like, okay, well, you've shown that you can do this. So as opposed to using this person like having to do other things as a reason for not doing this, well, let's start, that you can do this, that your body's feeling good. Like let's challenge you to do, I think we started at 3 days, and then the week after, we're like, okay, let's aim for 4 days. And we're slowly building up to where we're like, okay, like let's aim for like every day at 30 minutes because well, that was your initial goal this year.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
build up
mhm.
to where you're for 30 minutes a day. So moving on up, moving forward,
Right, right,
little
right.
by
Yeah,
little,
yeah.
little
And
by
getting
little.
back into the other things I know we haven't talked about, but like teaching yoga and teaching the dog yoga and doing more activity with others uh, outside of the walking or my own strength training. So
Right,
yes, just building up that confidence that
right,
knowing, yes, I can do this. And
right,
anybody, I can do anything I put my mind to for the most part, right? If
right,
get outside of the head and step inside to who I really am and put forth the effort that I know I have and
right,
make it happen. And
right,
back to what you said at the beginning, right? You've been so busy that you haven't really had time to stop and think. That's a blessing in some ways, as long as you're active and productive in the things that you want to be. But at the same time, when you have so many different things on your plate that are positive for you and moving you forward in the things that you want to accomplish, it's
hmm,
easier to stay outside of your own thoughts and your own head and make those things happen.
yeah, I agree. I would say like if I wanted to like, dial this in for like our listeners, and I would say the takeaways from this would be, one, like talk to your friends. If you're trying to pursue something, there's people around you that will will want to and will support you,
Hmm.
and might be actually interested in looking for somebody that they can do some of these things with. Let's say, talk to people. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Tell people what you're trying to do because you might find some support and in those areas. And the other thing is too is like what Tam and I talked to, be consistent, like get out at the same times because you're more likely to meet people that are doing the same things you're doing if you get out at those same times, every single day.
Hmm.
And the other thing is I would say is, leverage those people because they can be a great asset of moving, past things that you're scared about and things that, might generally like hold you back and could support you. Um, so I think those are probably my takeaways on that one. Do you have any more on that if you want to break it down for people?
No, excuse me. No, I think that was good. And yes, to your point, I mean, I'm very fortunate. I like to sit on my front porch in the mornings and have my cup of tea with my dog by my side. And I observe all of the people that are walking or riding their bikes all morning, like 8 to 8:30 or
Yeah.
whatever it is. But still, there's a wide variety of people out there doing their activities. So it's always nice to start noticing when they're coming together and we're walking with each other and
Yeah.
having a chat or whatever.
Well, then, I guess if that's it for today,
Absolutely. I don't have any other thoughts at the moment. So, as always, I enjoy our time together, and hopefully the listeners out there are learning a tidbit or two that will benefit them in some way, shape, or form. And we look forward to seeing you next time on this channel, Integrative Approaches and Healthier Living. And until then, be well. Much love to all.
see you guys later. Bye.